Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. This is the Worch Show, and this is episode -4. My buddy's sitting over there on the couch. We're trying to figure out what are we going to talk about this episode. So what did you have?
I think a good concept would be how you seek what you're looking for. So you need to guide your perspective.
How you seek what you're looking for, so guide your perspective.
Yeah. To help to help build the vision.
To help build the vision. So you basically you have to know what your purpose is.
Yeah, like determination versus distractions.
I feel like you're just throwing out words. Determinations versus distractions. Folks, you're not picking this up because I'm on the directional microphone. He's saying really big words, and I don't know.
Magic right there.
Determination. I can't even spell determination. And deterrent. So I like the idea. So what you're saying is you got to have a vision, like a general idea of what direction you're headed. So basically, like life or anything, any goals you're working on is like a road trip. You have to have some sort of map. Like, where am I going, right? Okay, I'm going to start heading north. I don't know specifically where I'm going to go north, but I know I'm going north. It's just a general idea. And maybe I see a sign that is, okay, I'm going to go left to go to Tampa, or I'm going to go right to go to Orlando. But at some point, right, you got to have some sort of direction, because then you end up floating nowhere aimlessly. Maybe you're wasting time because you're wasting time or gas because you don't know where you're going. And then you didn't look ahead of time. Like, for example, California, right? Fabiano just went on this trip to California, but before he left, he had this plan. He researched everything so he wasn't wasting his 7 days. Kind of tell me a little bit about that. You planned a lot, right?
Yes, I planned. Well, initially it started with no plan.
Why don't we get you on the mic, dog?
Where's that mic at?
Come on over here. Come on over here. Let's just hop in the...
Jump in this thing.
Jump in this thing. Let's go. We're not going to set up the other mic. We're just going to share this mic right now because that's what we have. So we're going to double team. Grab that chair over there. All right, we're going to double team. We didn't set this up for a twofer, but I used my charm and I got him on camera. Ladies and gentlemen, Fabiano. Very formal. Known him for 20 years. Shake your hand. Welcome to the mic. Now this is the mic. You know how this works?
All right, so
go ahead. So we're talking about planning. So we're gonna nail this guy, and this guy's picking us up a little bit.
Right.
All right. Oh, that's cool.
There we go.
There we go. So look at this. Let's just do a twist, and then I go back.
All right. Okay. So
Dude, I've been there, Daddy.
no, yeah. So I guess we'll talk about California trip. Went for 7 days.
He's right here, right now.
But no, yeah. So California trip, 7 days. It's kind of a funny concept because I feel like initially the concept I had was the no plan trip. I wanted to take a vacation, 7 days, no plan whatsoever. That was the plan. So it's almost the concept was be free, spontaneous, seek what's in front of you. Don't worry too much about things. Now, first thing I did learn was if you take that very literally, things quickly start going off the rails, which is what led me to the concept, which is there is a definite value in planning regardless. Even if you're planning to not plan, that in itself is a plan. But so what I had to take a step back and do was say, what is the overall picture of what I'm trying to achieve here? And then that starts to define the path, like you were saying about going north. If you don't know you're trying to head north, Tampa and Orlando both look like great alternatives as you're driving through the highway and you see, oh, Orlando, yeah. Oh, that has theme parks. I'll do a quick detour. And that's where you get hung up in an endless cycle of driving around aimlessly, and then people get frustrated. They're like, I don't know why I can't seem to get any closer to north. It's the detours. So that's my concept.
So what do you think, though? What would be the downside of starting to have this massive plan ahead of time as opposed to just having no plan and going? Where's the balance? What would be the downside of having too much of a plan, or is there so much as a thing?
So no, for sure. I think so. Yeah. So even with some planning, my overall plan was no plan. I think planning backfires when you try to plan every 1,000 feet of a 100-mile journey. It'll take you 10 years to figure out every 100 feet of that journey, which is, number one, extremely energy intensive and time consuming. And number two, you don't know what's in every 1,000 feet of that 100 miles. You have no idea. So it's an illusion of safety and comfort that you're trying to achieve by acting like you can predict the entire 100 miles. You cannot. Even with my trip, plenty of things had to be worked out on the spot, figured out, or adjusted. If I would have rigidly stuck to this plan, it would actually have backfired because I would have been doing things by force that were not natural in the moment. So over planning is I think a form of paralysis.
Never even starting.
Or never
even start because you're planning.
Yeah, planning to get to planning to actually do something is actually I look at it as a form of paralysis, because you start to constantly think about, the end result. Like, another thing is planning on the end result when you don't even have the first step figured out. The first step is the end result, and then the next step is your next end result. I think that's the key to progressing.
I want to talk a little bit, touch on that, the planning phase. You're watching this video and you have an idea. You have a business or something you want to start it, or a book you want to start, something you wanted to start. So you sit down, you have your pad of paper. We've all done this. And then you start making a list, a to-do list. You're familiar with this? It's his go-to. You start making a list, and you realize 2 weeks go by, a month go by, 2 months go by, and then you end up getting stuck in this planning phase. And I'm guilty of this 100%. This is what I was talking about in episode 1 about just not launching the podcast and never doing it. For me personally, it was a form of procrastination. I was afraid to start this. I was concerned about starting this podcast. I was terrified because my biggest thing was, I'm going to start this. It's going to take up a lot of time, and I'm going to end up quitting on episode 5 or 6. So I would just kept procrastinating, planning it out. I wanted to have the perfect location. I want to have the perfect lighting. I wanted everything super easy so I could just go into a room and hit record and not have to set up the lights or the tripod or anything like that. I wanted everything just seamless. And then Fabiano and my wife actually called me out on it, and they both were basically saying the same thing, is you don't need all that. Just start now. My wife was really good about telling me. She was like, I feel like you're just making excuses at this point. Like, you got all the gear, you spent $3,000 on everything, and now you're like missing one more thing. They have a term for that in music about buying, what is it?
Yeah, in music, there's the acronym GAS, which stands for Gear Acquisition Syndrome. So there's nothing a musician loves more than a music store full of beautiful guitars and keyboards and everything you could ever imagine in life that you would want. So we always, to divert from our feeling of inadequacy and not being prepared, we keep telling ourselves, I need I have this guitar, but I need that new guitar. That's when I'll really actually figure out how to play the song, or something like that. So it's the endless search for this thing that's missing that is really just a delay tactic. And the quicker we kind of get to the point of being sincere with ourselves is when we can turn off that gear acquisition syndrome. So
that's perfect. So that really ties in everything we're talking right now. So bottom line is, whatever you're doing, just hit record and just get started. Thanks for watching the Mark Worch Show. This is episode -4, and I'll see you next time. The salute.